Like Jason Aldean ain't gonna do shit. He can try, but you ain't gonna do nothing. This song is literally about sundown town. It is the purest form of racism. And trust me, Jason Aldean ain't the one that's thinking like this.
Chose to highlight footage from Black Lives Matter protests. Are you following me?
Yet the person spit in the face of the cop with a white man. These people are so stupid. I let them think.
No, protests that didn't happen because a bunch of delusional people were upset that an orange orangutan lost an election. A bunch of sore losers, you know? Instead, he chose footage from people who are angry over injustice. Innocent people getting killed.
No, looting and killing and hurting people and bludgeoning people is their concern. That's what it is. White lady.
The hands of police.
Jason Aldean is from Macon, Georgia, population 150,000, and Homestead, Florida, population 80,000, because it's basically a suburb of Miami. And he shot that music video to go along with this racist dog whistle song in Columbia, Tennessee, which has a population of 43,000. Conversely, I'm from a tiny little town that has never once had more than 2,000 people in it as long as it's existed. So, quite frankly, he can take his small town country cred and shove it straight up his chocolate this way. Jason Aldean ain't nothing but a big city boy in small town drag.
All right. Now, you see the white man, first you see.
Good evening.
Howdy. Good evening. Today is Friday, July 21st, 2023. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. Thank you that we're here together, ready to read your word. Thank you for the good time that we have. Thank you, we have the ability to share this with the world. We ask that you extend your hand of protection down around us as we read, down around those that listen. Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
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 So I'm reading the Jesus Always.
If you want to, I can.
What else are you gonna read then? If anything.
John chapters if they're not that long.
Both for the Matthew chapters.
Yeah.
Reading Matthew, not John.
Whatever.
Doing the armor of God the rest of the day in prayer.
I knew I was the Bible. Alright. Jesus Always, Embracing Joy in His Presence by Sarah Young. July 21st. Those who come to me are radiant. I am the sun that shines on continually. Even when your circumstances are difficult and the way ahead looks dark. Because you know me as Savior, you have a source of light that overcomes the darkness. I designed you to reflect my glory. You do so by looking to me, turning your face toward the light. Take time to be still in my presence, with your face upturned to absorb my radiance. The longer you stay in this light-drenched atmosphere, the more I can bless and strengthen you. While you are resting with me, you may want to whisper the words of Jacob. Surely the Lord is in this place. I am everywhere at every time, so that statement is always true, whether or not you sense my nearness. Take time to bask in my love light, soaking in my radiance. Taking time to bask in my love light, soaking in my radiance, can enhance your awareness of my presence. Also, time spent with me helps you to be a light in the world, radiating my love to those around you. Those who look to him are radiant. Their faces are never covered with shame. Psalm 34, verse 5. And we who with unveiled faces all reflect the Lord's glory are being transformed into his likeness with ever-increasing glory, with which comes from the Lord, who is the Spirit. 2 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 18. When Jacob awoke from his sleep, he thought, surely the Lord is in this place, and I was not aware of it. Genesis chapter 28, verse 16. Let the light so shine before men that they may see your God works and glorify your Father in heaven. Matthew chapter 5, verse 16, New King James Version.
Matthew chapter 5.
5 and 6.
You gonna turn on these lights, please? And you know where my glasses are, Mo?
No.
Yeah, I don't know where they went again.
I'll read that with a message. Matthew chapter 5, verse 1. When Jesus saw his ministry drawing huge crowds, he climbed a hillside. Those who were apprenticed to him, the committed, climbed with him. Arriving at a quiet place, he sat down and taught his climbing companions. This is what he said. You're blessed when you're at the end of your rope. With less of you, there is more of God and his rule. You're blessed when you feel you've lost what is most dear to you. Only then can you be embraced by the one most dear to you. You're blessed when you're content with just who you are, no more, no less. That's the moment you find yourselves proud owners of everything that can be bought. It can't be bought. You're blessed when you've worked up a good appetite for God, eats food and drink and the best meal you'll ever eat. You're blessed when you care. At the moment of being careful, you find yourselves cared for. You're blessed when you get inside, when you get your inside world your mind and heart put right, then you can see God in the outside world. You're blessed when you can show people how to cooperate instead of compete or fight. That's when you discover who you really are and your place in God's family. You're blessed when your commitment to God provokes persecution. The persecution drives you even deeper into God's kingdom. Not only that, count yourselves blessed every time people put you down or throw you out or speak lies about you to discredit me. What it means is that truth is too close for comfort and they are uncomfortable. You can be glad when that happens. Give a cheer even. For though they don't like it, I do, and all heaven applauds. And know that you are in good company. My prophets and witnesses have always gotten into this kind of trouble. Anybody get anything out of that for so far?
Always blessed.
Always blessed.
Yep. He said that the ones that made it up now.
The ones that actually tried.
No. But everyone's blessed in the end. They're blessed with some type of thing.
Everybody is. You sure about that?
Yeah. Parents, blessed with kids.
Alright. So we're blessed by you.
Yeah.
Are you positive?
Yeah.
Even when you don't listen to us?
Yeah.
Salt and light. Verse 13. Let me tell you why you are here. You're here to be salt seasoning that brings out the God flavors of this earth. If you lose your saltiness, how will people taste godliness? You lost your usefulness and will end up in the garbage. Here's another way to put it. You're here to be light, bringing out the God colors in the world. God is not a secret to be kept. We're going public with this, as public as a city on a hill. If I make you light bearers, you don't think I'm going to hide you under a bucket, do you? I'm putting you on a light stand. Now that I've put you there, on a hilltop, on a light stand, shine. Keep open house, be generous with your lives. By opening up to others, you'll prompt people to open up with God. This generous Father in heaven, completing God's law. Verse 17. Don't suppose for a minute that I have come to demolish the scriptures either. That I come to demolish the scriptures. Either God's law or the prophets. I'm not here to demolish, but to complete. I'm going to put it all together in a vast panorama. God's law is more real and lasting than the stars in the sky and the ground at your feet. Long after stars burn out and earth wears out, God's law will be alive and working. Trivialize even the smallest item in God's law and you will only have trivialized yourself. But take it seriously. Show the way for others and you will find honor in the kingdom. Unless you do far better than the Pharisees in the matters of right living, you won't know the first thing about entering the kingdom. Wow. What'd you get out of that?
If you act like the Pharisees in that time, then you aren't doing the right thing. Right? Is that the way I heard it? Because again,
Unless you do far better than the Pharisees in the matters of right living, you won't know the first thing about entering the kingdom.
right.
But I don't know if they. So lying, like we tend to think of lying as that big of a deal, right? That's trivializing even the smallest item of God's law, right?
Yeah.
Sarah.
Are you
What did
paying
they just say?
attention?
I'm not paying attention, sorry.
So basically, just me and Dad are doing this right now.
I know what you said. What? Believing that lying isn't that big. You said that it was
It was just an example, but yes. Because in verse 19 and 20 here, it says, trivialize even the smallest item of God's law, and you will only have trivialized yourself. Take it seriously, show the way for others, and you will find honor in the kingdom. Unless you do far better than the Pharisees in the matters of right living, you won't know the first thing about entering the kingdom. So, if we trivialize things, we will be trivialized ourselves, right?
You guys even know what that word means?
Trivialized? No.
trivial means having something over something really, really small.
Well, it's
It's kind of like
not
arguing.
as important.
Yeah, it's
A
small.
trivial matter is an important. It's a matter that's not really important.
Like
So,
so and so getting the computer over so and so.
right. Or you're both gonna get something, and one person gets it faster than the other, and then you complain about it. That's a trivial matter.
Meaning it doesn't matter in the long run or at that very moment.
But if we say that even the smallest of God's law, the smallest item of God's law is trivial, then we become trivial ourselves. Murder. Verse 21 to 22 to start with. You're familiar with the command to the ancients. Do not murder. I am telling you that anyone who is so much as angry with a brother or sister is guilty of murder. Carelessly call a brother idiot, and you might find yourself hauled into court. Thoughtlessly yell stupid at a sister, and you are on the brink of hellfire. The simple moral fact is that words kill. This is how I want you to conduct yourself in these matters. If you enter your place of worship and about to make an offering, you suddenly remember a grudge a friend has against you, abandon your offering, leave immediately, go to this friend and make things right. Then and only then come back and work things out with God. Or say, you're out on the street and an old enemy accosts you. Don't lose a minute. Make the first move. Make things right with him. After all, if you leave the first move to him, knowing his track record, you're likely to end up in court, maybe even jail. If that happens, you won't get out without a stiff fine. You know the next commandment pretty well too. Don't go to bed with another spouse. But don't think you preserved your virtue simply by staying out of bed. Your heart can be corrupted by lust even quicker than your body. Those ogling looks you think nobody notices, they also corrupt. Let's not pretend this is easier than it really is. If you want to live a morally pure life, here's what you have to do. You have to blind your right eye the moment you catch it in a lustful leer. You have to choose to live one-eyed or else be dumped on a moral trash pile. And you have to chop off your right hand the moment you notice it raised threateningly. Better a bloody stump than your entire being discarded for good in the dump. Remember the scripture that says, whoever divorces his wife, let him do it legally, giving her divorce papers and her legal rights. Too many of you are using that as cover for selfishness and whim, pretending to be righteous just because you are legal. Please, no more pretending. If you divorce your wife, you're responsible for making her an adulteress, unless she has already made herself that by sexual promiscuity. And if you marry such a divorced adulteress, you're automatically an adulterer yourself. You cannot use legal cover to mask moral failure. And don't say anything you don't mean. This counsel is embedded deep in our traditions. You only make things worse when you lay down a smokescreen of pious talk, saying, I'll pray for you and never doing it, or saying, God be with you and not meaning it. You don't make your words true by embellishing them with religious lace. In making your speech sound more religious, it becomes less true. Just say yes and no when you manipulate your words to get your own way. You go wrong. Here's another old saying that deserves a second look. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Is that going to get us anywhere? Here's what I propose. Don't hit back at all. If someone strikes you, stand there and take it. If someone drags you into court and sues you for the shirt off your back, gift wrap your best coat and make a present of it. And if someone takes unfair advantage of you, use the occasion to practice the servant life. No more tit for tat stuff. Live generously. You're familiar with the old written law, love your friend, and its unwritten companion. Hate your enemy. I'm challenging that. I'm telling you to love your enemies. Let them bring out the best in you, not the worst. When someone gives you a hard time, respond to supple moves of prayer. For then you are working out of your true selves, your God-created selves. This is what God does. He gives his best, the sun to warm and the rain to nourish, to everyone regardless, the good and bad, the nice and hasty. If all you do is love the lovable, do you expect a bonus? Anybody can do that. If you simply say hello to those who greet you, do you expect a medal? Any run-of-the-mill sinner does that. In a word, what I'm saying is, grow up. Your kingdom subjects. Now live like it. Live out your God-created identity. Live generously and graciously towards others, the way God lives towards you.
It's just saying, live how God created you. Live the way that God wants you to.
There was a thing that you had said on that. Here, let me see.
What? Did I miss something?
No, were you in 6 or 5?
I was at 5. What?
5. No, there was a verse that you said that okay, so I'm gonna put this in terms for Ethan because this kind of happened last year on multiple occasions. You know how somebody would say something very rude to you and be very mean to you?
Yes.
And I don't know if maybe you said something before that or whatever. At this point, it's a moot point. But what I want to point out is it says when it comes to your enemy, if you see somebody you don't like or that you have problems with, before you give them a chance to come at you, you go up to them and you basically say, "Hi, how you doing?" And you be nice. That's what this is saying. You don't give them a chance to be rude. You don't give them a chance to be mean. Okay? Give me my wallet. So the point of that verse or that part is, and it was under murder, it's so that you don't get in trouble. Okay? This goes for you too, and it goes between you two, because you two tend to do this. You look at each other and you want to just fight. Okay? That's what y'all do. Okay? Don't just point at her, you both do it. Ethan, please stop. It's not nice. It's kind of rude right now.
So Matthew chapter 6.
I was going to read chapter 6.
Dad already has it up, so you can read it.
The world is not a stage. Verse 1. Be especially careful when you are trying to be good, so that you don't make a performance out of it. It might be good theater, but the God who made you won't be applauded. When you do something for someone else, don't call attention to yourself. You've seen them in action, I'm sure. Play actors, I call them. Treating player meeting and street corner alike as a stage. Acting compassionate as long as someone is watching. Playing to the crowds, they get applause. True, but that's all they get. When you help someone out, don't think about how it looks, just do it quietly and unobtrusively. That is the way your God who conceived you in love, working behind the scenes, helps you out. And when you come before God, don't turn it into a theatrical production either. All these people making a regular show out of their prayers, hoping for 15 minutes of fame. Do you think God sits in a box? Here's what I want you to do. Find a quiet, secluded place so you won't be tempted to role play before God. Just be there and simply, honestly, as you can, manage. The focus will shift from you to God, and you will begin to sense His grace. The world is full of so-called prayer warriors who are prayer ignorant. They are full of formulas and programs and advice peddling techniques, forgetting what you want from God. Don't fall for that nonsense. This is your Father you are dealing with, and He knows better than you what you need. With a God like this loving you, you can pray very simply like this. Our Father in heaven, reveal who you are. Set the world right, do what's best, as above, so below. Keep us alive with 3 square meals. Keep us forgiven with you and forgiving others. Keep us safe from ourselves and the devil. You're in charge. You can do anything you want. You're ablaze in beauty. Yes, yes, yes. In prayer, there is a connection between what God does and what you do. You can't get forgiveness from God, for instance, without also forgiving others. If you refuse to do your part, you cut yourself off from God's part. When you practice some appetite-denying discipline to better concentrate on God, don't make a production out of it. It might turn you into a small-time celebrity, but it won't make you a saint. If you go into training inwardly, act normal outwardly. Shampoo and comb your hair, brush your teeth, wash your face. God doesn't require attention-getting devices. He won't overlook what you are doing. He'll reward you well. Don't hoard treasure down here where it gets eaten by moths and corroded by rust, or worse, stolen by burglars. Stockpile treasure in heaven where it is safe from moth and rust and burglars. It's obvious, isn't it? The place where your treasure is the place you will most want to be and end up being. Your eyes are windows into your body. If you open your eyes wide in wonder and belief, your body fills up with light. If you live squint-eyed in greed and distrust, your body is a musty cellar. If you pull the blinds on your windows, what a dark life you will have. You can't worship two gods at once. Loving one God, you'll end up hating the other. Adoration of one feeds contempt for the other. You can't worship God and money both. If you decide for God, living a life of God worship, it follows that you don't fuss about what's on the table at meal times or whether the clothes in your closet are in fashion. There is far more to your life than the food you put in your stomach, more to your outer appearance than the clothes you hang on your body. Look at the birds, free and unfettered, not tied down to a job description. Careless in the care of God, and you count far more to him than birds. Has anyone, by fussing in front of the mirror, ever gotten taller by so much as an inch? All this time and money wasted on fashion. You think it makes that much difference? Instead of looking at the fashions, walk into the fields and look for wildflowers. They never primp or shop. But have you ever seen color and design quite like it? The 10 best dressed men and women in the country look shabby alongside them. If God gives such attention to the appearance of wildflowers, most of which are never seen, don't you think he'll attend to you? Take pride in you. Do his best for you. What I'm trying to do here is to get you to relax, to not be so preoccupied with giving, so you can respond to God's giving. People who don't know God and the way he works fuss over these things. But you know both God and how he works. Sleep your life in God reality, God initiative, God provisions. Don't worry about missing out. You'll find all your everyday human concerns will be met. Give your entire attention to what God is doing right now. And don't get worked up about what may or may not happen tomorrow. God will help you deal with whatever things come up when the time comes. Hey, what you guys get out of that?
Basically, don't. So, you know the commandments?
Wait.
Since this is talking-
Hold on. What did you get out of that? You know, just basically don't.
I was
That
trying.
was an interesting
Let
answer.
her finish.
It just caught me off guard.
It was funny that the way she said it.
So you know the commandments. One of the last ones was, I think, don't look into the future. I don't remember if it was in there, but it's like don't look into the future. Basically, meaning don't
Worry about tomorrow.
Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry what happened yesterday. Just live your life today. And your life goes on. So just put the past into the past, the present into the present, and the future, don't worry about it until it comes tomorrow. And just do that cycle over and over again.
So yeah, it is.
Well,
not verse. It's more than one.
No. Okay. You know how I can stand to go to work and the same thing
Because you actually don't pay attention to the past or the future.
I do what I do for God. Just read that straight.
Everything you do for the glory of God.
Yes.
Which is after 118%. Something right?
Ethan,
Okay.
No. What was that one verse? Do everything for the glory of God.
Whether you eat or drink,
No.
or whatsoever you do, all for the Lord.
No.
yeah,
The
that's
song.
Stay with me. That is for us to black man.
Yeah.
And Psalm 118 and 24. Where? That one?
where were you trying to go with it, Dave?
Oh, don't complain. That's what we want. It's a lot of the chapters in the Bible.
No, here's
Well, it's not that you shouldn't complain. It's okay. The way it's worded, yeah, don't complain. But the reason you don't need to complain is because God is there with you. He's guiding you. He has the path for you.
God has handled all your situations for the good.
You know which verses I was talking about, though? 19 to 21.
Read them out loud again.
Don't hoard treasure down here that can be eaten by moths or corroded by rust, or worse, stolen by burglars. Stockpile treasure in heaven where it's safe from moth and rust and burglars. It's obvious it isn't it? The place where your treasure is the place where you will most want to be and end up being. And it goes on to say that if you trust in God, and if you trust that everything you're doing now for the glory of God is righteous and of your own will, when it comes down to it, everything you ever wished for, want, need, all of it will be there for you if you just believe. Don't put your faith in being beautiful and using makeup and getting the prettiest clothes or coolest car or the most awesome new technology. Because those are wants. And if it was meant for you, can you please listen to me? If it was meant to be, and if it was meant for you to have, it will be. But sometimes it's just that prettiest dress or the coolest phone or the awesome car just might not be meant for you. You might want it. You might want it real bad.
and that might not be meant for us.
But that want is also something that can be taken away from you here on earth. So what you need to do is you need to take that want, give it to God, that need in your life, give it to God, and He will store it where it needs to go and give it to you when you need it most. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll read the verse of the day. For he has rescued us from the domain of darkness, and transferred us to the kingdom of his beloved Son, to whom we have redemption, the forgiveness of sins. Colossians chapter 13, verse 13. Colossians chapter 1, verses 13 through 14. New American Standard.
The armor of God, as it says in Ephesians chapter 6, verses 10 through 18. Finally, be strong in the Lord and in the strength of his might. Put on the full armor of God, that you may be able to stand firm against the schemes of the devil. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the powers, against world forces of this darkness, against spiritual forces of wickedness in the heavenly places. Therefore, take up the full armor of God, that you may be able to stand, that you may be able to resist in the evil day, having done everything to stand firm. Stand firm, therefore, having girded your loins with the truth, and having put on the breastplate of righteousness, and having shod your feet with the preparation of the gospel of peace. In addition to all, taking up the shield of faith, with which you will be able to extinguish all the flaming missiles of the evil one. With all prayer and petition, and taking the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. With all prayer and petition, at all times in the Spirit, and subdue beyond the other with all perseverance, petition for all the saints.
Okay. God, thank you for giving me hope. No matter what I face, and you daily remind me, no matter what I face, you daily remind me that I have all what I need when I draw near to you. Thank you for being my source of strength, comfort on good days and bad days. I am grateful I can always count on you. Realign my heart today and teach me how to draw near to you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.